Enjoy it quite as much. We got rained on for the first half of the hike, but this hike is 3.2 miles out and back with about 700 feet elevation gain. It is located in the Bear Lake region of Rocky Mountain National Park. If you're planning on doing this hike, then keep watching this video. We're going to have some tips for you, we're going to show you the route, and we're going to give you some more helpful information. As I mentioned, this is in the Bear Lake region of Rocky Mountain National Park. You do need a ticketed entry into the park with Bear Lake access if you are planning to do this hike. I have more information about timed entry, permits, and passes into Rocky Mountain National Park in the link below this video. The start of the hike leaves from the Bear Lake main parking lot area. This is a big parking lot, but this is a very popular section of the park, so the parking lot does fill up relatively early, and there is an overflow lot and shuttles that can take you to and from this area. So if a ranger tells you that that parking lot is full, you will be directed to the overflow parking lot, and you can take about a 15-minute shuttle ride over to this parking area where you can begin your hike. The start of the hike is right near Bear Lake. Dream Lake and Emerald Lake are to the left, and you're going to follow those signs. Dream Lake is one of the lakes you'll pass on your way up to Emerald Lake. So you'll follow the signs. This is a well-marked trail. Anytime you see an intersection, there are signs along the path that tell you which way to go based on what your endpoint is. So if you're hiking to Dream Lake or Emerald Lake, then you follow the signs for that. The start of the trail is through a forested section. There are some steps on this trail. There are a little bit of uneven areas when you're walking with rocks on the ground and roots, so just keep that in mind if you have younger children with you when you're doing this hike. Overall, this is a great hike for families though. I would definitely recommend this. The day before I did this hike, I hiked to Sky Pond, and that was a very strenuous hike with similar views at the end of the hike. You'd get to a serene mountain lake surrounded by the mountain peaks, and you hike through a beautiful forest and you pass some lakes along the way. So this is definitely a safer hike than the hike to Sky Pond, and you have some pretty amazing views on this one as well.
So we're hiking to Emerald Lake. I always pick the great days for Nate to come join me on a hike. Today it's raining, and the rain was supposed to stop according to the radar, but it did not stop.
And there's snow.
And you have to hike over a little bit of snow still, so another one of Nate's favorite things. But look at that. It's pretty.
When we hiked here in June of 2022, there was still a decent amount of snow once you get towards the far end of Dream Lake. So the hiking area from between Dream Lake and Emerald Lake still had a couple little sections of snow that you had to cross over. If you have trekking poles or a walking stick, that can help you with balancing on the snow. You also have some beautiful little boardwalks that take you over wetlands. And I loved how this walking path is right on the edge of Dream Lake. It's beautiful in every direction you're looking. Once you make it past Dream Lake, you'll follow the hiking path that kind of stays right around Tyndall Creek, and you're starting to get some more steps here, making a bigger incline until you make your way up to Emerald Lake. We were pretty lucky with our timing. We were maybe off by about 5 minutes. Nate would disagree with me. He would have preferred that we hiked not in the rain the entire time, but for me it was pretty awesome because we hiked in the rain the first half of the hike until we made it to Emerald Lake. It was still raining, but we could tell it was lightening up. So we decided to just sit under a little rock shelter area. There was just like a little rock hanging over us, and we just had a snack for 5 minutes and waited, and the rain stopped and the clouds began to lift, and we could see some blue in the sky, and the emerald green color of the lake started to get stronger and more vibrant with the sunlight coming through. And then on the way back, you just hike back out the way you came. You're going downhill most of the time on the way back, and it was a beautiful hike on the way back because the sun was starting to come out again, the rain stopped, and we could just take in all the views rather than just trying to get to the end point and get out of the rain. I highly recommend this hike. This was one of my favorite hikes in Rocky Mountain National Park. The views are fantastic. It's not too strenuous of a hike. It was crowded, but it wasn't as crowded when we did it because of the rain. I think that deterred some people. So it was a great experience when we did this hike. If you're planning a hike here as well, make sure you pack in and pack out everything. Don't leave any trash when you are out doing this hike. And once you make it all the way back to the trailhead, you're right near Bear Lake again. So if you have time, there is a loop hiking trail that's relatively flat that hikes around Bear Lake. So if you have time and the energy and you would like to add that on to your hike for the day, you're welcome to do that as well. There are some beautiful views around Bear Lake. I will say that Bear Lake is more crowded than Emerald Lake because you have to hike up to Emerald Lake, and Bear Lake is right there by the parking lot. Alright guys, that wraps up this video on the hike to Emerald Lake in Rocky Mountain National Park. Hope you enjoyed this video. We have a video coming out soon with a list of great things to do in Rocky Mountain National Park, so I will include that in the description under this video when it's available. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our fun travel adventures like this one.